Super Matt does it again at Weedsport. The forecast was sunny with a guarantee of lightning at the D-shaped Dirt Demon. We go in the pits with one of the most fun drivers you'll ever meet at a racetrack. Be careful with that cushion. Make sure you're sitting just right. Race Pro Weekly, it's on. Hello and welcome to another edition of Race Pro Weekly. I'm your host, Mike Warren. Last Sunday, Weedsport Speedway got things started in 2018 with its Icebreaker program. Let's head out there now to see who took home the modified feature in our opening highlight, brought to you by Landho Maintenance. We start you off with some micro sprint action, and that ain't good. Oh boy. Darrell Ruggles would go on to win the feature event in that number 29 machine as he would take the double checkered flag. We move to the modified feature event. Rob Bellinger and AJ Slideways. Alan Johnson would take the early race lead and send the field up into turn number 1 and 2 of the beautiful Weedsport Speedway. Cars going down the back stretch, trying to work their way up through the field, and it would be the 14 machine in the number 1 spot. Jimmy Phelps up on the move early. Car gets into the wall hard. That's Matt Holsizer up on the outside in turn number 2. A tough break for him. Robbie Bellinger with some left front damage. That's going to end his great run for the time being. Off the restart, here's Jimmy Phelps trying to work his way to the inside as the Bandit would try to make the move to get past AJ Slideways down the back straightaway, and he would make it stick. Car on the move up on the top side. That's Andrew Ferguson, and here's Matt Shepard working his way on the inside as they fight inside the top 10, going 3 wide with Willie Decker as well up off the corner. Ferguson was strong in this one as he continued to work the outside lane, but the 9S of Shepard continues to work on the bottom, and another car on the move on the top side was the 5 of Chris Heil as he was working the top, getting by AJ Slideways for the number 2 spot, trying to set his sights on the 98H of Jimmy Phelps when we move toward the closing stages of this feature. He would take the race lead away from the 98H, and you had to think that'd be over, right? Well, you've seen modified races over the past couple years. You knew that 9S car was coming as the Dennis Company's machine powers down to the inside to look to take the race lead away. Heil holding on here as we get to the last few laps of this one, but Shepard doing what Matt Shepard does, rolling to the inside lane, taking the lead away as he goes through the corner. Shepard to the number 1 spot, and you knew he wasn't going to stop there. That'd be all she wrote, folks. Matt Shepard picks up the Icebreaker win at the Weedsport Speedway. Second would be Chris Heil with a great run. Jimmy Phelps would finish in 3rd, Alan Johnson 4th, and Gary Tompkins would finish in 5th. To the D-shaped Dirt Demon we go for the opener for the modifieds as Willie Decker would lead the field of the green in the 1X as he rolls them up into turn number 1 and 2. Rob Bellinger and Larry White looking to follow as here's Kid Lightning going to the inside in that 99L machine. Max McLaughlin and Jimmy Phelps right there behind him trying to move up through the field in the early going, and some good side-by-side racing as always up at Brewerton as they work their way down the backstretch. White would try to take that number 2 spot. He would, and it wouldn't be long till he'd slide up and take the lane away on the 1X of Willie Decker to go to the front of the field as White was trying to pick up the victory. He'd roll on the outside as Jimmy Phelps was trying to make something work on the inside of Decker. He'd get him and take a couple of shots at the 99L. Then they're 3 wide down the backstretch as Tim Sears Jr. makes his presence known into the top 5. Rolling his way up. He continued to work his way past the 8 of Bellinger up through the corner as cars still scramble for position. Final time off the corner, Phelps, one last shot, not enough. Larry White picks up the opener. Jimmy Phelps would have to settle for 2nd. Tim Sears Jr. would come home on the strong 3rd. Willie Decker 4th, and Gary Tompkins with his 2nd top 5 of the weekend. It's now time for this week's John Ray and Sons fan poll question, which is, which Super Dirt Series event are you looking forward to the most in 2018? Head to our Facebook page at facebook.com/RaceProWeekly to cast your answer. Taking a look at the results from last week's question, which is, what is your favorite series? Well, the answer, overwhelmingly, the Short Track Super Series with 58%, the Super Dirt Car Series coming in 2nd with 28%, and other series coming in with 14%. Coming up on Race Pro Weekly, we'll head back to Can-Am to see who took feature number 2 of the season, and we'll see what happened out at the Great Race Place. That's all coming up on Race Pro Weekly.
honor our armed forces this Memorial Day at the Heroes Remembered 100, presented by DC Rauscher at Weedsport Speedway. The ground-pounding, earth-rattling action of the Super Dirt Car Series takes to the track for the first time this season. The big blocks will be joined by the Spano Container Sportsman Shootout Series. Tickets are available online at weedsportspeedway.com. Kids 10 and under are free. See you at the port Memorial Day, May 28th.
You know, Mother Nature makes the best products, and Ghent Wood Products in Columbia County has figured out the secret. We use locally harvested trees, milled and kiln-dried right on site in Ghent. We stock rough-cut lumber, green or kiln-dried. If you prefer finished products, we offer that too, including shiplap, flooring, paneling, exterior siding, and tabletops. Come check out the reclaimed mushroom wood and barnwood siding. We combine the mill experience with a retail store, so you can go straight to the mill and handpick the wood you want.
There's only one place in the Capital Region for you to get the full racing action. Stop down at the Bobco video booth at the track or call 518-399-0937. Bobco Racing Video, the next best thing to being there.
Hi, I'm Eric Pope, General Manager of John Ray & Sons. We're proud to be offering Bryant heating and air conditioning systems. Just like us, Bryant has been delivering home comfort solutions for more than a century.
Call today for a free consultation and save up to $875 with Bryant bonus rebates.
I'm Michael Laporte, Service Manager. From sales to service, our goal is to keep you comfortable, whatever it takes. Ductless AC is a perfect solution for homes without ductwork, new additions, or anywhere you need cool relief.
Call or visit johnray.com today.
Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Sportsman action up at the Can-Am Speedway as Jack Meeks and Ryan Kelly fight for the number one spot, coming to the checkered flag. Kelly with a shot on the inside lane. Wouldn't be enough, though, as Meeks would pick up the victory. To the modified feature event now. It would be Tyler Meeks up on the front row with Jordan McCready, as McCready would take the early race lead in this one, moving to the inside. Here comes Danny O'Brien on the inside, along with Billy Dunn on the outside, looking to make something stick in the early going as McCready would try to drive away. Dunn working his way up into the top three. He get by O'Brien, set his sights on the 28 of Meeks as he works it up on the outside lane and takes the runner-up spot away and now tries to chase down the 9 of McCready. McCready trying to drive away from him a little bit more as he pulls up into turn number 1 and 2 as Dunn trying to run him down. He would work the inside lane now and get even closer to him, cutting it down to about 5 car lengths here through the midway point of the feature. McCready would look to slow, but because Luke Stewart would have a little bit of trouble, that would re-rack the field off of a caution and off the restart. Watch Danny O'Brien make contact with the implement tire, going wheels up down the front straightaway as the field will continue to work with McCready as your leader as the car gets caught down in turn number 1. That would bring out the caution along with the R70 of Ryan Arbuthnot, the opening night winner, having some trouble. Off the restart, Billy Dunn still trying to chase down McCready as McCready leads him up into turn number 1 and 2. Dunn switching to the outside this time, trying to make it work. He'd have a look at him, pull even off of turn number 3 and 4, but McCready still working it down on the inside lane. Meanwhile, Nick Webb trying to get by Ryan Bartlett. That's just outside the top 5 in this feature event. But fast forward to the front of McCready in victory lane, something our producer likes very much, as Jordan McCready takes home the win. Second would be Billy Dunn. Third, Danny O'Brien. Fourth would be Tyler Meeks. And rounding out the top 5 would be Nick Webb. Other winners on the night, Jack Meeks, as you mentioned, will grab the win in the Sportsman. Charlie Sandercock in the Rush Late Models. Sid Harmer Jr. in the Pro Street Stocks. Joe Orvis in the Thunder Stocks. And the Rookie Sportsman going to Tyler Murray. To the great race place we go. We start with some heat race action where Don Madison jumps the cushion and goes up and over a number of times. He would be okay, but a tough break for the driver of the 10 machine. Modified feature would see Jimmy Nagle lead the field to the green in the 35-lap feature event for the Upstate GMC Modifieds at the Albany Saratoga Speedway. Kenny Tremont trying to work his way up through the field as Keith Flack would be on the move as well. He would power it to the ground on the outside lane and get by Jim Nagle for that number 1 spot down the back straightaway very early in the event. Cars trying to work their way up. You see Ronnie Johnson making some moves on the outside, switching to the inside, getting past Jeremy Wilder. He would continue to work his way up through the field, dancing off the cushion, trying to run down the 667 of Matt Depew, who was on the move in the early stages. Brett Hearn working his way up through the field. He'd get by Justin Barber on the outside lane, looking for position to crack the top 5, but Tremont was the car on the move early as he was on a mission to get to the front fast as he would get by Nagle, then slide in front of Vernal to take the number 2 spot away and try to chase down race leader Keith Flack. Jeremy Wilder would waste no time. He'd get past the 97K of Vernal for spot number 3 and slide up in front of him as the caution will come out for the 111 of Demetrius Strelos. Off the restart, Tremont to the inside with a great shot to get Keith Black, but the Ravina Rocket would blast off once again on the top side. RJ going to waste no time off the restart. He go to the inside of Tremont and take the number 2 spot away. Tremont would then jump the cushion. That allows Hearn and Wilder to get by, and 2016 champion Mark Johnson would slide by the 115 in one of his infamous late race pushes in that 3J. But it was all behind Keith Black as he would blast off to his first win of 2018. Second would be RJ Ronnie Johnson. Brett Hearn would finish in third. Mark Johnson coming home fourth, and Jeremy Wilder would finish in fifth. To the Ulster County Bull Ring we go for the first time. Sportsman action coming up first, and Ryan Stortini taking a bit of a ride down the backstretch, hanging on the wall. He'd be out of shape in this one. Meanwhile, great battle for the lead as Kyle Rohner going to go side by side with Nick Plumstead down the back straightaway, battling for that number 1 spot, but it would be Rohner coming up with his second win of 2018. To the modifieds now, Brad Roadhouse would take the early race lead in this event as the cars would shake down the back straightaway with sail panels into turn number 3 and 4. Anthony Perego trying to make his way up on the move. Danny Creedon on the inside lane in that number 5 machine would try to work his way up as well as the field works his way off a 2. Here's Showtime Danny Tyler going to make a move. He get into the runner-up spot as he powers down off at turn number 3 and 4. Perego now right there with Rich Ricky Jr. and the 45 machine of Tommy Johnson as the caution will come out. They would re-rack the field, little 3-wide action. Tommy Johnson moving into spot number 3. Perego trying to knock on the door. Pair of 406 is working its way in there, all behind Roadhouse as well, as they would fight for the number 4 spot. Cars still trying to work their way up through the field. You see the 831 of Jam and Jimmy Wells trying to power through. Here's Roadhouse getting in heavy lap traffic, coming to the 21L of Alyssa Cody through turn number 3 and 4. He would clear her, and then Tyler would get into Cody up off of turn number 2, spinning her around, and that would bring out the caution. Off of the restart, cars trying to work their way up through the field as Tyler still sits in that number 2 spot, but Perego would get tagged. He'd go around. Allison Ricky going to get caught up in it as well, as that would bring the caution right back out. Roadhouse will go back to the front, but here's Rich Ricky Jr. fighting underneath the number 45 of Tommy Johnson for that position, and meanwhile, Creedon picks up another one. Allison Ricky trying to work her way back up through the field through the closing stages of this feature event, but a great battle per second. Tommy Johnson with a look-see underneath Tyler for position. Couldn't quite get there, and neither could Tyler as Roadhouse picks up the win. Second would be Danny Tyler. Tommy Johnson would finish in third, Rich Ricky Jr. fourth, and Danny Creedon would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night, Kyle Rohner in the Sportsman, as you saw, Mick D'Agostino in the Sprint cars, Pure Stocks to Bob Slate, Cole Stagel in the Rookie Sportsman, and Jeff DeGroat in the 4 cylinders. When we return, double bill of Sportsman action at the D-shaped Dirt Demon, and we'll head back to Weedsport to see a shower of 602 power. Reputable, reliable, results. That's what you get when you call Rick and the professionals at RCT Roofing. Quality service at fair prices. RCT gets the job done. Just like Nick Stone and the RCT Pro Stock. RCT Roofing, we've got you covered.
Spring is finally here and the temperatures are rising and the deals are hotter than ever. Hi, I'm Charlie Morris of Morris Ford in Burnt Hills. You have to come in for the hottest cars, trucks, and SUVs on the market today here at Morris Ford, all with leading technology and advanced safety. With thousands off and low payments, there's never been a better time to buy a new Ford. So come in to Morris Ford and let us show you why we've been selling cars in the Capital District for over 46 years.
Our military Morris will always be number 1.
Courage at the mile. What part did courage play in this victory?
Kinzer going into the corner, trying to get by Dale Waxo, makes contact.
Hell of a lot, I'll tell you that right there.
So many times, everybody had lost track. Look at how John up on the center track.
Tell you what, there was some close races at a high speed.
The World of Outlaws create memories for fans every night. Now share your favorite outlaw moment on social media. Whether it was 1978, 1998, or 2018, we want to know, what's your outlaw moment? Did you sneak into a victory lane picture? Get whiplash driving past a parking lot full of crews at work? Or maybe you simply got to meet your favorite driver in the pits after the races. Tweet it, Instagram it, just use the hashtag MyOutlawMoment. You might even hear voice of the Outlaws Johnny Gibson share your memory at the track. Don't delay, start posting today. Let us know with My Outlaw Moment.
Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Sportsman action as Billy Clark Jr. and the 34 Kevin Root would lead the field up into turn number 1 and 2. Cars trying to work their way up. There's Tony Finch in the 0 trying to make a move on the inside lane as he'd power off the corner. Root trying to hold off Clark for position, and here comes Dave Marcachilli rolling his way up on the inside lane. He'd look to take the race lead away, but Root too strong on the outside for the time being. But you know Marcachilli, he's been here for a long time, keeping it down on the inside lane. He'd take the lead away from Root as we move toward the closing stages with about 7 to go and slide back in front of him. Lap traffic would be a factor before this one was all said and done. Root one last shot at him off the corner. Marcachilli on a slick track, way too strong as he picks up the win. Feature number 2, Mike Stanton going to be out there in front. Mark Yorker in the 1 looking to make something happen as Corey Barker in there as well as they fight for position. Here's Yorker and Barker fighting for that number 2 spot up through the corner, and it would be Barker that would take it away. Meanwhile, Barker would move to the outside lane to get around Stanton for that number 1 position, working the top side into turn number 1 and 2 that time. And here's Yorker with a battle for the lead now as he had gotten by Stanton as well. Yorker trying to pick up a win for the first time in a long time at Brewerton, but Barker just too strong as he picks up the win in Sportsman feature number 2. Yorker holds on for a strong second. Mike Stanton would finish in 3rd, Nick Krause 4th, and Will Shields would round out the top 5 in feature number 2. Back to feature number 1 we go, where it was Dave Marcachilli picking up the win, Kevin Root finishing 2nd, Alan Fink 3rd, Billy Clark Jr. 4th, and Tony Finch would finish in 5th. Other winners on the night, we take a look at the Mod Lights where Justin Williams grabbed the win, and I've heard this one before, Ray Beckler in the 4 cylinders. Back to the Weedsport Speedway we go for a shower of 602 power as Kevin Ridley and Matt Guerreri would lead the field to the green as they worked their way down the back straightaway for the first time. Ridley would take the early lead away from the field as they would power up. Here's Nick Guerreri working his way up on the inside, trying to get by the 67 of Eric Jaguar, and then Guerreri goes around down on the inside lane, would have a left front flat tire, as you can see in front, a tough break for the driver of the 25G. Cars trying to work their way up through the field. You see Alex Jankowski from all the way from Moscow, Pennsylvania, working his way up, and then Alan Fink and Tom Juneau get together up in turn number 1 and 2. That would be a tough break for the 2 of them, and both of them have runs going. Meanwhile, here would be the number 1 of Marcachilli trying to get by Guerreri for that number 2 spot. He'd slide in front of him down the backstretch, but Guerreri going to come back on the inside lane, looking to try to make it stick as they roll down the front stretch, allowing Ridley to get away. These top 2 drivers would battle up through turn number 1 and 2 for that number 2 spot as they would power through the corner. Here's Guerreri trying to get him back on the inside. Marcachilli holding strong on the outside, and that Page Trucking car number M1, and it would be Marcachilli getting the spot as he would have a couple of last shots at Ridley in a green-white checkered finish as Marcachilli tried to work the inside lane, but Ridley just a little bit too strong on that outside, working it up through turn number 1 and 2. Marcachilli one last shot at him off the corner, not going to be enough. Ridley picks up the win. Second would be Marcachilli. Matt Guerreri would finish in 3rd, Kevin Root 4th, and Eric Jaguar would round out the top 5. Back to the NY6A Micro Sprints, Darryl Ruggles would pick up the win. John Smith would be 2nd, Matt Smith 3rd, Jordan Nudie 4th, and DJ Schumann would finish in 5th. Back to the great race place we go for the Native Pride Street Stock Series. Getting it started as Dave Cook would take the early race lead in the 20-lap Street Stock feature event. Cars working their way down through turn number 3 and 4 as Rowdy Birch up on the outside lane is Justin Taylor and the 922 going to go around in between turn number 3 and 4. That would bring out the yellow. Damon Anderson working his way up on the inside. He get a little out of shape. Curtis Condon and John Hayes there looking to follow down the backstretch, but Anderson would keep it going right through the middle, but Rowdy Birch, a car on the move early, would move to the outside of Condon as he'd work his way up. And then, of course, the opening night winner. He's working it up on the outside lane. Here comes Randy Miller trying to make it 2 in a row. Jumping into the top of the field in the early going. He would get by Rellier, but Rellier would be looking to chase down the rest of the field. Meanwhile, tough break for Scott Lawrence as he'd go around. Phil Arnold would be collected as well. So off the restart, Dave Cook would take control once again. Here's Rellier making a move down on the inside. He'd get by the 12 of Miller and the 76 of Birch, looking for that number 2 spot as he'd get by Anderson and take that away to try to set his sights on Cook. And he wouldn't waste too much more time as that A&Z Landscaping car number 14 would pull even with him down into turn number 3 and 4 and take the lead away. But he wouldn't have too much time to breathe as Randy Miller was right hot on his tail up through turn number 1 and 2. and he was using everything but the wheels to make his way up through turn number 3 and 4 in that classic Muscle Parts car number 12 machine. He continued to push it down on the inside lane. Relier would look to battle back, and this was a spirited one through the final 10 laps of this event. Eventually, Miller would pull away, but a caution would come out for Phil Arnold. So another restart will give Relier a crack at it up on the top side, but here's the 12 of Miller trying to push back underneath him. Relier strong that time through the corner, but he pushed up the racetrack just enough where Randy Miller would take the lead right back from him with just a few laps to go. Last time through the corner, Dave Cook trying to get the second, but Randy Miller brings home his second in a row at Albany Saratoga. Second would be Al Relier. Dave Cook would have to settle for third. Mark Birch would be fourth, and John Filarecki fifth. Other winners on the night, Jeremy Pitts takes win number 1 in the Sportsman. Justin Buff grabs the win in the Limited Sportsman. Held over Pro Stock feature going to go to Josh Coonrad in his first Pro Stock win at the Speedway. And Kenny Martin takes his second of the year in the Pro Stock regular scheduled feature. When we come back, we'll take a quick look out at the Big Diamond Speedway, and we'll head in the pits with one of the most fun drivers you'll ever meet at the racetrack. Performance, quality, service. That's DMC Racing Products. Hundreds of name brand parts, competitive prices. That's DMC. DMC Racing Products, race to win.
I'm Brian from 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is my main man, Tom, and my other main man, Tom.
You never know how much junk you've got until you move.
Point to something you wish would disappear.
Would it be possible to... It's gone!
All you have to do is point.
Where have you been all my life?
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
If you are a tracker series that would like to be highlighted on Race Pro Weekly, email us at show@raceproweekly.com. Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Some USAC wingless sprint courtesy of our own Rusty Rhodes down at the Big Diamond Speedway. Getting ready for action. Eddie Strada out there on the Speedway as well. And the new USAC East Coast Series making an appearance down. Guys like Adam Pearson, who you usually see in the Sportsman Division in the Capital District area, working their way down for the first time. And some great action as they were dusting off the cushion, which means, Tim Pitts had a lot of fun. But it would be Ryan Godown picking up the win in the wingless sprint action down at Big Diamond. For many years, C.G. Morey has been a staple at some tracks around the Northeast. Our own Fast Eddie got to catch up with him and why he got back into modified racing and why we could see someone else driving the 14 in the near future.
CG, can you tell the fans how many years you've been racing now?
Too many, actually. We've been back racing about 10 years now. I used to race before, and then I went to race snowmobiles and everything, so I quit for about 10 years. But it's been 10 years since we came back and started running the modified.
What made you decide to come back to dirt track modified racing?
I got stupid. No, I dislocated an elbow racing snowmobiles, and I couldn't do that anymore, and it was back getting behind the wheel again. So,
taking a look in the pit area every week, it doesn't look like anybody has much more fun at the racetrack than you. Every week you got a smile on your face. Is this just for the fun for you?
That's all it's for. I mean, it's my stress relief with running my businesses and everything else. It just drives you crazy. The only time I don't think about work is when I'm in that car on the track. So I do it for that, and I just do it for the fun. We're not going to go out here and win Super Dirt Series or anything else. We're just having a good time, and we're competitive when we, get everything right, and sometimes we just chase our tail, so you can't worry about it.
What makes you decide where and when you're going to show up to race?
Just my mood. I always loved Malta. I grew up here. My dad had cars here with Tim Baker and everything, and they ran good here, and it's always been home. Here in Devil's Bowl. Devil's Bowl doesn't run our cars anymore, so we go here, and then Orange County, we got some people that help us down there, so we go there.
Taking a look, you put some drivers in your cars over the years. How much fun is that to be just the car owner for a night?
It's okay. We're actually talking to a guy right now about taking over because I got some health issues. So it's fun. It's nice to see that my equipment is that good, and it's also a bad thing. It just shows how bad I am. So.
Tell the fans what it's like to take a lap in one of these cars.
Get on the biggest and scariest roller coaster you can get, and then have all the tracks come apart on the roller coaster. That's about it. So it's rough. It can be rough. We were running the top tonight, and there was a couple times we almost went over, and you got to stand on the gas to bring the car back under. But it's between a roller coaster and probably a bull ride.
It's now time for this week's NISCA Performer of the Week, and with his 20-to-1st run at Weedsport, who else but Super Matt Shepard? The driver of the 9S is now eligible for the Performer of the Year award given out at the end of the season. That's all for this week's show. For the latest news, results, and photos, check out Race Pro Weekly online at www.raceproweekly.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So for myself, Bobby Chalmers, Fast Eddie, Scott Morlock, Amber Chalmers, and everyone that helps put Race Pro Weekly together, thank you for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next time.